Victor Adetiba with ScrumLife.com, back with our book club. This episode is sponsored by Man to Tech Training Academy, link in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Today we're reading an excerpt from the book, 97 Things Every Scrum Practitioner Should Know, Collective Wisdom from the Experts, edited by Gunther Verheyen. Page 34. Scaling Scrum to the entire organization with the Flow framework. Mick Kirstein. Scrum has been mastered. Organizations have a broad range of practices, tools, and training to enable them to leverage this powerful way of organizing work and delivery. So why is it that the majority of large organizations have so much trouble extending the benefits of Scrum beyond practices employed by individual teams? Over and over, my meetings with business and IT leaders lead me to the same conclusion. Attempts to scale the language and practices of Scrum to the business are failing. Instead, we must connect our agile practices to the language of the business in order to see lean thinking applied across the organization. The barrier between business leaders and technologists is one of both language and culture. Business culture speaks in terms of revenue, costs, and customers. Scrum culture speaks in terms of user stories, iterations, and the customer. One fundamental concept ties both together: the focus on delivering value to the customer. The problem comes from the layer that organizations have formed for translating between the language and culture of Scrum and that of business. Most commonly, the business side applies the practice of project management in order to bridge the gap. This is a grave mistake. By wrapping a project management layer around Scrum, we turn it back to a waterfall process, which defeats the purpose of Scrum by disconnecting the Scrum teams from the business through this layer of indirection and its associated handovers. However, expecting business leaders to directly apply an Agile team's practices to managing thousands of staff is an equally futile idea. Beyond growing product owners to bridge both worlds, we need a new managerial model to connect the way that Scrum works to the business with a language that the business side can understand. The goal of the Flow framework is to bring Scrum and Agile concepts to the business while providing a higher level of abstraction than Agile teams work with day to day. User stories and story points are layered over by the 4 Flow items: features, defects, risks, and debts. This translation serves an improved understanding in both directions by forcing the business side to understand the dynamics of software delivery, such as forcing the understanding of technical debt and the need to trade off architectural investment over feature delivery. Most importantly, rather than measuring or managing a single team's work, the Flow framework creates a new organizational layer between the business and the Scrum teams based on the most important key concept shared by both: the customer. Organizing delivery into product value streams ensures that both sides are aligned around the flow of business value and on removing bottlenecks and impediments to flow. In large organizations, a meaningful product value stream typically requires more than one team to deliver. Hence, these abstractions should be put in place at the Scrum of Scrums levels. By defining, measuring, and managing flow across your customer-centric product value streams, the practices that you've grown to know and love will finally help your entire business scale to this new way of working. I think that many organizations fail to truly get the full benefit out of Scrum by not scaling Scrum in some way. And framework agnostic, I think that organizations should find a way to try to scale, because both leveraging the opportunity to attempt to manage dependencies or manage impediments across teams and across the organization helps kind of unlock a new superpower for Scrum rather than just working at the team level. I also think that the business side and the development or Scrum side of an organization are often competing in many ways. And so I think that both sides need to approach this interaction with a bit of grace for the other, right? The business is also is oftentimes very heavy on dates and budgets and scope, right? But ultimately, business does have a business with financial responsibilities that they have to run. And so from the Agile side, we're heavy with principles and values. And again, as was mentioned in the excerpt, there's a big focus on, or the main focus, the primary focus is delivering value to the customer. And so I think the onus is on both parties, business and Agile, to find a way to meet in the middle so that both sides of the organization have their needs met, right? We're able to live by and work by the values and principles in the Agile Manifesto and in the Scrum Guide, as well as help the business be able to meet their responsibilities and communicate and plan in whatever way the business believes is best for them and the people who work outside of the development teams. Did you enjoy today's episode? Hope you did. Leave me a comment. Tell us what you think. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of our book club. See you then.